Thank you very much, Governor. Thank you very much for those kind words and that great introduction. People of Detroit, it's great to be in your city here today. I've landed here this morning. I've spent the day visiting some of the public schools and seeing firsthand what you're doing for public education here in Detroit. And so it's a neat honor to be with you here this evening. You know, I stand before you with a sense of duty and purpose, ready to embark on a journey that transcends party lines and personal ambitions. A journey towards a brighter, more prosperous future for all Americans. As we gather here this evening, let us reflect on the challenges and opportunities that define our present and shape our collective destiny. Let us acknowledge the complexities and uncertainties that lie ahead, but let us also embrace the boundless possibilities that await us if we have the courage and the determination to seize them. At the heart of our national discourse lies the imperative of education, the cornerstone of our society, the foundation upon which our democracy rests. Our schools are not just buildings, they are crucibles in which the future of our nation is forged, where young minds are nurtured and the seeds of progress are sown. Yet, despite the pivotal role that education plays in shaping the destiny of our nation, we find ourselves confronted by systematic inequalities and persistent challenges that threaten its efficiency and impact. It's time for us to prioritize education spending, recognizing that investment in our educational infrastructure is an investment in our collective future. This entails not merely allocating financial resources, but also adopting a holistic approach that addresses the multifaceted needs of our educational institutions. From modernizing infrastructure and enhancing technology to promoting innovative, progressive practices and providing adequate support for educators, we must pursue a comprehensive strategy that ensures equal access to quality education for all students, regardless of their social, economic background and geographic location. Yet, none of this is possible without our dedicated teachers, the unsung heroes who shape the minds of the next generation, instilling in them the values of hard work, compassion, and resilience. It's a time to honor their invaluable contributions by advocating for substantial pay raises. And yes, you've heard me talk about that. I'm ready to contribute, or not contribute, but it'd be nice if I could contribute, but see to it that the budget of the Department of Education is increased by almost $1 trillion. $1 trillion. Think about the change that will happen in our country. The infrastructure I'm talking about is turning our schools into palaces. One of my opponents has already talked about turning schools into palaces. She wants to do it in 10 years. I want to do it in less than 4. And we need to have that pay raises, professional development opportunities, and the resources necessary to excel in their vital role as mentors, guides, and champions of knowledge. They play such an important role in our nation's history. The reason I'm up here tonight, folks, is because of a teacher. The reason back home in Texas that my mayor is the mayor of our city is because of a teacher. We both had the same civics teacher in high school, and what a wonderful teacher he was. He didn't talk about parties. He told you what parties there were, but he didn't try to throw excuse me, he didn't try to throw a political agenda down his students' throats. He told you what the parties were, what they ideally stood for, and how government worked. That's what we need. That's what we need to do to our current generation of students right now. And we need to emphasize the teaching of the ABCs, the one, two, threes, the good, the bad, the ugly of history. We have to do these things. Did we have slavery in our country? Absolutely. Was it wrong? Absolutely. We have to teach these things. If we sanitize history and we do not teach slavery, we do not teach the things we did wrong in this country, this generation that's coming up will repeat it. They will repeat it. And under my administration, under Back to Basics, the teachers will teach the ABCs, the one, two, threes, the good, the bad, the ugly of history, period, in the discussion. You know, transitioning from an important thing, and that is education, to the economic realm, we are confronted by the challenges of unemployment, a scourge that threatens the livelihoods of millions, sowing seeds of despair and uncertainty in communities across our nation. To address this, we must pursue comprehensive unemployment reform. And what I'm talking about here is a total revamp of unemployment the way it is now. There are so many people who are still on unemployment from the pandemic that took unemployment during the pandemic but never returned to the workforce. It is time for them to get off the couch, return to the workforce, and start contributing their money, their time to the success of this nation. You know, in the enhanced unemployment it's going to be enhanced unemployment. It's not going to be just getting a paycheck and going for a ride. You're going to have to work for unemployment. We're going to call for a minimum of 5 job interviews a week in order to qualify for continued benefits. Look at the BLS statistics, the Bureau of Labor Statistics figures coming out. They came out. There was a figure last year. There are 1.6 jobs available for everybody in this room, everybody in Michigan, everybody in Detroit. There are 1.6 jobs available. If that's the case, why is unemployment lower than it is? Why is it? It's because the few who never return to the workforce, it is time for them to pay their fair share. You know, and this is not only a short-term relief measure, but also long-term strategies aimed at fostering economic resilience, promoting workforce development, and fostering entrepreneurship. By investing in job training programs, supporting small businesses, and implementing policies that promote innovation, entrepreneurship, we can empower individuals to adapt and thrive in a changing economy, building a more resilient workforce and ensuring economic prosperity for all. And there is no better feeling than getting a paycheck. Trust me, I know I was on unemployment. To me, it was an embarrassment. To me, I remember every Thursday morning when the unemployment figures came out, when they announced those figures every Thursday morning, I knew that I was one of those numbers. I didn't like it. And to me, I hated getting those unemployment checks. It was a pipeline to continue to live, but I didn't treat it as an entitlement. So many people on unemployment are treating it as an entitlement, like the government owes them that. If you're capable of working in this country, and I'm not talking about our retired citizens, they've earned their retirement. I'm not talking about our stay-at-home parents. They figured it out. It's working. I'm talking about able-bodied Americans. It's time to return to work. You know, finally tonight, let's cast our gaze beyond our borders to the realm of foreign affairs, a domain fraught with complexity, uncertainty, and competing interests in an interconnected world, characterized by geopolitical rivalries, transitional threats, and emerging challenges. The imperative of the effective of the effective and principled foreign policy has never been more pronounced. It is incumbent upon us to pursue a foreign policy agenda that is rooted in the principles of diplomacy, cooperation, and mutual respect by fostering constructive dialogue, strengthening international alliances, and upholding democratic values and human rights. We can advance our national interests while also contributing to a more peaceful, stable, and prosperous world for all nations. There's a lot of talk. There's a candidate out there. He wants to pull the plug on NATO. Just forget about our allies. I'll make you this promise here tonight. I will never, never turn our back on our NATO allies. I will never do that. Other candidates saying they're going to pull out NATO, and our allies are asking. They're asking, "What are you doing? What's going to happen after November? What are you doing?" I can make this commitment to the NATO allies tonight. As long as I'm here, as long as I'm in charge, we're not getting out of NATO. Our commitment to NATO is strong as it ever has been. Why would a president of the United States, why would the president turn his back on the very allies that helped win World War I and World War II? Why would he do that? I don't get it. In conclusion, my fellow Americans, the challenges before us are great, but so too is our resolve together. Let us embrace the challenges before us with unity, purpose, and determination. Let us build a brighter future for generations to come, and not as Democrats or Republicans, but as Americans united in a common pursuit of a more perfect union. I want to close with this. 20 or so years ago, there was another Texan in the White House, and he had this painting. It was in the Oval Office, and it was by a fellow Texan by the name of Tom Lee. And Tom talked about the painting, and he talked about how him and his wife Sarah lived on the lived on the east side of the mountain. And Tom was quoted as saying, "It's for living on the east side of the mountain that you see the sunrise of the day ahead, not the sunset of the day that's past." My fellow Americans, I truly believe the United States lives on the east side of the mountain, and our best days are indeed in front of us. May God bless you. May God bless our troops, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.